Shalom, Kol Haloyim Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rachakudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Yeah, so I'm on this dude's page. His name is Dylan Page, I guess. And if you ever want any kind of global news, if you want to see what's going on, this dude talks all about it. As you can see, he has 16 million followers. But he puts out really, really good content. He's a weirdo, but at the end of the day, he serves his purpose. And like I said, he brings out a lot of good information, specifically global events, things that are happening, things that are trending. And of course, they relate to the Bible. And so I came across this video right here. I want to play this. It's kind of long. And so I'm going to play it, and I'm not going to pause it. I'm not going to talk through it, nothing like that. And it's a mouthful. He goes into a lot of different things, but at the end of the day, everything he's going to talk about is biblical prophecy. And that's why I'm bringing it out through the Spirit. And so listen to it. If you need to, you can come to his page. This is on TikTok if you want. You can come to the page and watch it for yourself. But a lot of good information. We're going to play it all the way through, and then we'll grab some precepts.
This is the first picture the world has ever seen where Putin, Xi Jinping, and Kim Jong-un are all together. And the significance of this gathering cannot be understated. Today, we witnessed China put on the largest military parade in their history. All major roads were closed, schools were shut down, and they even had weeks of midnight rehearsals and security preparations to make sure that today went off without a hitch. One by one, world leaders started arriving, most of which are the names that you would expect, like Kim, Putin, etc. In fact, for good old Kim, it took him 20 hours just to get to China, because he got there on his infamous slow armored bulletproof train, traveling between only 45 and 80 kilometers an hour. However, also attending were world leaders that in the past few decades, they lent more to the West, like Turkey, Egypt, and Vietnam. In fact, no Western leaders attended apart from two. We're looking at you, Serbia and Slovakia. And when Donald Trump saw that Putin, Kim, and Xi were having a 2.5-hour private closed-door meeting, he tweeted this: "May President Xi and the wonderful people of China have a great lasting day of celebration. Please give my warmest regards to Putin and Kim Jong-un as you conspire against the United States." Now, it wasn't just what they spoke about that will be of concern of Western leaders watching. It'll also be the new weapons that China unveiled. These included new powerful laser weapons capable of taking out swarms of drones, burning electronics, or even blinding pilots, new nuclear ballistic missiles with a range capable of striking US mainland, giant underwater unmanned drones, and also a number of weapons which display China's heavy investment in the future of warfare, including drones, smart tanks, AI-assisted weaponry, and of course, even robot dogs. In fact, today on Chinese social media, all of the top searches were about the parade and its weapons, including the fourth one talking about their new ICBMs having the striking range that covers the entire world. But for Xi Jinping, what means more than showing off new weaponry is showing off a new world order, one that challenges the West and its allies, but also one where China is positioned right in the center. In fact, in Xi's speech overlooking the military parade, he said, "The rise of the Chinese nation is unstoppable. Strength may prevail for a time, but over the long arc of history, it's reason that wins." So the question is Donald Trump's foreign policy pushing these countries together to strengthen their relations? Or was what we saw today inevitable and would have happened no matter who was in office? This
is basically what he just said at the very, very end. No matter who is in office, this is inevitable and it's going to happen because obviously it's prophecy. But even with that being said, the Lord, he put particular people in office in order to fulfill his word anyway. So this is all biblical prophecy. And like I mentioned before, that's why we bring these things out. He talked about a lot. There was a mouthful, but obviously in the beginning, the very first thing he said was Putin, Xi, and Kim Jong-un, however you say his name. They all were found together in the first picture ever, all three of them together. And we know exactly why they're all coming together, because World War III is on the horizon. That's the end all be all to all of this. Everything that we just heard this dude Dylan talk about, it's all just going to lead up to World War III. And like I say all the time, a boxer doesn't just put on gloves, get in the ring, put on headgear, and start training for no reason. He's training for a fight. He knows that an upcoming fight is, a week or 2, 3 months, whatever it may be, and he's preparing for it. And that's exactly what these 3 world leaders are doing right here. They're all coming together, showing their, unity, I guess, for lack of a better word, for one another. And they're saying, look, we got to band together and take down the West. That's what this is all about. So now China, I think he said, was showing off new AI technology, new AI weaponry, using robotic dogs as weapons. They have some kind of new drones, and then they have a ballistic missile that can reach anywhere in the entire world. Then on top of that, at this meeting, it wasn't just them 3, but you had some of the other leaders that used to be with the U.S. Now they're kind of jumping ship. Like you said, Vietnam, Turkey, one of the big ones that you can read about in Ezekiel 38. But so much information that this man brought out, and obviously it just points toward the scriptures. It shows us that the scriptures are speaking loud and clear in these end days. And so I'm going to throw that away, and I'm going to grab the obvious precepts. This is all coming down to World War III. So Revelation 11 verse 14 says the second woe is past. Now the word woe right here represents some kind of very large, great destruction. So the second woe is referring to World War II. It says that woe, or World War II, is past. And behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And the third one is obviously World War III. It says that it's coming quickly. Now, we were given a commandment to watch as well as pray. And these are the things that we're watching out for. What are the signs going to be of your coming, O Lord? Well, he said there's going to be wars and rumors of war. And that's exactly what we see going on right now. China holding that huge parade in the streets, everything shut down, world leaders banding together, showing off their missiles and new drones, things like that. There you go. There you have it. That right there is proof that we're living in the very, very, very end days right now. And so when you hear things like this, you should be asking yourself, man, am I ready for all this to go down? Am I spiritually prepared and ready for the day of the Lord? Like if the Lord came back tomorrow, am I in a good position? That's why it's important that we bring out topics like this so you can examine yourself and prepare yourself the right way, which is spiritually, for the coming of the day of the Lord. Because it's near. And we see it with all these signs. Now I'm going to jump over to Revelation 17. Because like I said, I'm not going to get into all the different particulars that he brought about. I mean, we can show you scriptures of Turkey and of Russia, and talking about China, and we can show you all the missile scriptures, but it's just all coming down to World War III and the summation of that event, which is America, Babylon the Great, being completely destroyed. And that's talked about in many places, specifically right here in Revelation 17. This is the breakdown, basically, of the metaphor that was given, or the analogy that was given further up in the chapter. We're going to read just verse 16 to highlight it. It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore." Now the whore is talking about America. The beast is referring to a power structure. Like when we're talking about sports, you say, oh man, that dude is a beast, meaning he's a force to be reckoned with. He has a lot of power. He's good at what he's doing, right? He's in control. So the beast right here is referring to a power structure or a power system that runs and governs the entire world. and that's talking about NATO and EU. You can put America up in there, but America is a part of NATO, right? So the whore is America, the beast is NATO and EU, that power structure, and then the 10 horns are specifically going into these different European nations that have given their power into the beast system, over to the beast system. So it says, and the 10 horns, these different European nations, which thou sawest upon the beast, NATO and the EU, this beast system, these shall hate the whore, meaning they're going to hate America, which they do right now, and that's very obvious to see, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. That whore, the her, is that whore, America. So as it relates to World War III, these different nations are going to band together, in which we know that they currently have a strong hatred for America, or the whore, Babylon the Great, and they're going to burn America. America is going to be completely destroyed in World War III. Now, salvation represents you being delivered from that destruction. That's what salvation is. Nobody has been saved right now. We're striving and hoping to be a part of that number that receives deliverance from this upcoming destruction. But we don't know if we're part of that number. We can only hope and pray and do our best to remain faithful in the Lord. But this is what the Bible calls the second death. The second death is World War III, and World War III ends with America being put to shame and burned with fire. And it's going to happen very, very fast. This is Revelation 18. And I'm going to end off with this precept. Just trying to be straight to the point in this video. Oh, there it is. Revelation 18, verse 17. Yeah, 17 and 18. It says, for in 1 hour, so great riches is come to naught, meaning nothing. And when you read up in this chapter, it's talking about Babylon the Great, which is America. In 1 hour, this place is going to be completely destroyed. For in 1 hour, so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning. Remember the her, that whore, it's all the same thing. It's referring to America. They cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? So, of course, everybody that made money off of this place, standing afar off in different countries or whatever nations, they're going to see the destruction of this place and they're going to be upset. But why am I bringing this out? Because this place, America, is going to be destroyed in World War III in 1 hour. This is all important to know because it stresses the time that we're currently in right now. When you see these different nations banding together, showing off their weaponry, putting money towards their military, you know that World War III is close. And if World War III ends with the destruction of Babylon the Great, well, now we know we need to continue to examine ourselves and make sure we're on the right path to receiving salvation. That's why all of this is important. Ain't nobody just bringing this out just to bring it out and have a vlog or do a little blog and make a video on YouTube and then that's it. We get some views. No. There should be action behind this type of information. Everybody and their mama now with a microphone and a phone, they can just have a podcast. That's not what this is about. This isn't about views. This isn't about getting some kind of recognition in the flesh and being able to talk about these things. No, we make these videos so that the elect can hear it, be edified, and put in some type of action that you know is necessary for your salvation. You got to get your household in order, get yourself in order. Ask the Lord to increase your faith, continue to repent, fast, pray, and Lord willing, you and all of us, we receive salvation, meaning we're delivered when this goes down. And that's the point. So, Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. Call Haloyim Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.